Well, welcome to my farmhouse. I'm Sherry Mitchell, and I'm going to do a cute little rendition of a cheese ball today. We've just gotten Valentine's behind us, and our next holiday that we're moving into, of course, is Easter. And there's many different things that people do for Easter. You know, ham is an essential at our house. That's what you have for Easter. And a lot of other things. But one of the cute little appetizers that my daughter brings often is a cheese ball. And I love a cheese ball, especially the way this one's made. But this one is not just your little typical cheese ball. It's going to be made like a carrot. So this is what we're going to try to shape our cheese ball in. And we'll get right at it to do that. So the first thing that you need is cream cheese. Let's see. So you just buy a brick of cream cheese, and the main thing is you're going to soften it. Now, you could put this in the microwave, but I kind of feel like it gets just a little bit overdone, you know, kind of more of a soupy, it feels soupy, and then really warm. So we're going to try to shape this. We don't want to get it. So what I did is I just started working it in my hands. I had it sitting out for a little bit, and if I had it sitting out longer, that would have been fine. It probably would have been softer, but I just kind of worked it in my hand. And so we're going to move our little Easter bunny here. Just set it to the side, and we'll get us a bowl, and we will put in our one brick, which is an 8-ounce brick of cream cheese, right into this bowl. That's the basis of this recipe. There we go. That came out very nicely. All right. Then we have some other things that we need to do. So we're going to need some onions, and I'm just going to move that right out there for you, or over here maybe. You could do a yellow onion. You know, be cautious, because last week it just really made me just cry. Right. But I like the green onions. They're just kind of festive in there, and I don't know, green onions just makes me think of spring, because it's one of the first vegetables that you can get. You can actually get those green onions put in the ground soon and get a little green onion. So that's what I like to do. I've washed these off. We'll just take the ends off. Okay. Just get ready to throw that away, and we'll just get ready to dice this. Now, in my recipe, it says that we're going to need 1/4 cup, and that's not a whole lot. This is a 1/2 cup. Let me grab my 1/4 of a cup right out of here. Okay, so we're going to need 1/4 of a cup, and you just bring these together and slice them real thin. You could chop these up a little finer if you want, but I kind of like them like this. And 1/4 of a cup is not a whole lot to do. And the green is real pretty in there too. If you get some of that green, green is easy. When I was a little girl growing up, and we lived at the farmhouse, my dad always sat to the left of me, and my mom always made pork chops, fried potatoes, pinto beans, and if the onions were in the garden, she'd have Debbie, my older sister Debbie, and I go pull onions, and we'd clean them and have them in a jar of water, and we would eat those with that meal. Well, my dad loved the big white bulb that's usually on them, you know, the bigger ones, but I thought they were too hot. But I loved the taste of the green. So he would eat that, and then very quietly pass the green part over to me. So anytime I see one of these green onions, that memory floods my mind. All right, so we're gonna see if this will be what we need. I think it will be. All right, good. Just a little extra for good measure, right? Won't hurt a thing. All right, so there goes our onions. Okay. And then we are going to need a splash of Worcestershire. That just gives it a little flavor, right? And then we're going to need, let me grab it real quick out of my refrigerator. This is just a shaved beef. You can get it in all kinds of different packages. There's turkey, there's ham, just very fine. Some people make a gravy out of this. I'm just going to chop it up real small so that you get little pieces when you actually get your that's kind of noisy, isn't it, that little cutting board, huh? Listen to that. I'm going to switch over to my little wooden one here in just a second. You're just going to have to go with that sound, right? Try not to ever get your fingers. Okay, I think that'll be plenty for what we need for. And how much did I say we needed of that? Nobody remembers. It says 1 package. All right, so we'll call that 1 package. All right, there we go with that. I'm going to switch out this cutting board in case I need to do more. That was kind of like listening to the blackboard, right? All right. All right, so we have our onions in. Next we need to do cheese. Now, the recipe that I was reading up on had a great tip. It said the pre-shredded that you get at the store tends to dry out ahead of time. Okay, so we're wanting this to stick to this mixture that we're about to make. And the dry doesn't want to do that as well. So we're going to wind up actually shredding our cheese. Okay. Now this, no one's ever used this, because this is the old-fashioned way of doing it. This would be like for coleslaw. This would be like slicing, which is real good if you're slicing cucumbers or potatoes. This is for spices. And this little one over here gives you the cheese that's like Gold Star chili or Skyline. You know, the really cool cheese. So that's what we're going to do. I'll give you a little tip. If you were doing this, but you only needed a little bit, try not to actually touch the cheese, because when you do that, that's what actually causes it to mold in the refrigerators from your hands. So I always kind of leave the bag around there, and I go like this. And it's a little bit messy. This is kind of room temperature, so it's a little bit easier to go through there. And I have an attachment ordered for my KitchenAid. I think I mentioned that last time, but it's not here yet. And that would really make it go fast, right? Really fast. But I don't have too much to do here. And sometimes it's just kind of nice to just hang around in the kitchen and not feel like you got to rush through everything to get it done. Okay. And now I'm going to say, how much do I need? I think that might be enough. So we're going to need a half a cup of cheese that we can actually put in there. Okay. Now this is a small cheese ball, by the way. I want to make sure you understand that. 2 to 4 people probably could eat this cheese ball, maybe 8. But it's an appetizer kind of thing. So you don't want to fill up on cheese ball before the main meal, right? We tend to do that at our gatherings, right? All right, so we're going to put a half a cup right in there. All right. And while I got this right here, I'm going to go ahead, because I'm going to need to roll. Once I form this together, I'm going to put the cheese on so that we have the orange that's going to represent our carrot, right? All right. Give me a second. I'll get this done. I'll be right back. All right, well, I got that cheese done. I think we'll have plenty that we're going to actually wrap this little cheese ball up in. And remember that our carrots are what we're looking for this is a carrot cheese ball. All right, so the cheese, the cream cheese, is still a little bit stiff. So we're going to use a spoon as best we can. But I washed my hands real good, because, you know, you can't hardly stir up a meatloaf or a cheese ball with a spoon. It just doesn't seem to go well. Now, one more little thing that I'm going to do. Some people don't like it, but my daughter, when she saw the recipe, very similar to the one she makes and brings, she said, you must put a little dash of heat in there, Mom. So we're going to put a little dash of heat in there for my daughter, Christy. I don't know how many dashes. That was 8 or 10, right? All right, so I'm just going to use my hands real quick to form this. It's looking delicious right now. I think I could just leave it in the bowl and spoon it right on a cracker, but it's going to look cute as a carrot, right? And that's our tip off. So we've got a lot of little Easter things planned. We're going to do a little butterscotch bird's nest, which is a great little treat and a great little activity for kids to do. They love to be in the kitchen. And who doesn't like to make a little bird's nest with children with little eggs in it, right? All right, so I think we're good here. We'll move this over here. Okay, so here's our cheese ball. This actually turned out bigger than I thought it was going to be. I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to have a little teeny tiny carrot like this. But I think it's going to be bigger than I expected. So we're just going to form this. There's our little carrot that we're going to be trying to duplicate. I don't know if you've ever raised carrots. I raised carrots. Only a few times did they ever turn out really nice, but I raised little baby ones. They're called a little miniature like. But I did good, and they were quite tasty. Okay, how's that looking for carrot? That looks pretty good for carrot, doesn't it? I think so. All right, so it's set to roll it. Okay, so we're just going to try to coat it. This is our orange part for the carrot. Pat it in there a little bit. Okay, and then we're going to transfer it to a plate. And I'll get that and I'll be right back. All right, so our biggest thing is we need to get this to our party, right? So we could take it on the cutting board. You certainly could do that. You could put it on a plate and you could wrap it up in saran wrap. We all do that. But we're gonna do just something a little bit different. Okay, because remember, this is for Easter. This is a carrot cheese ball. Bring it all the way down here. We're gonna pack a little more cheese on there. Okay. And then we've got to have some of this greenery, right? Because all carrots do. So we're going to need some greenery right up there. We'll just cut that right off of there. We're going to stick that right in there. No, I need a little more. I like lots of greenery to make it look really real, right? Let's just grab a couple more of those. And I'm just kind of stuffing it underneath of it. Okay. And then we'll just grab up this excess. Well, we'll just tuck it in. How about that? We will tuck it in. Now you are going to be remembered for this when you go to your party for Easter. Let everybody know I'm bringing the cheese ball, a carrot cheese ball. And they'll think, oh, you're putting carrots in your cheese ball, yuck. All right, so now we need to be thinking about transporting it. So what I did here, by the way, this is a great little tip. Years ago, my piano teacher, Mrs. Rimbus, would bring us every year for Christmas a coffee cake. And she made lots of them. Of course, you can't put them all on your plates, and your plates are at the other neighbor's house for months. So she would just take a piece of cardboard and wrap it in foil. Simple little plate. You don't have to worry about it coming back home if you put a cake on there or whatever, or a carrot cheese ball. So this little pan you can just buy at Kroger, okay? And you don't have to worry about it coming back. So we put that in there, okay? Now we can do several different things to make this even fancier. If I were going somewhere, I would just take this and put it in a baggie. And when I got there, I would just pour the crackers in there. Or we can dress it up a little bit and put a few little, who doesn't like jelly beans, right? If you were really creative, you could really do the whole top in jelly beans. And I would do that when I got there, because I think if you kept it overnight, the moisture might make it leak out. And maybe it's not bad, you know, but it's a little sugary. But I would just put a few of those on for fun. Okay. Then you could pour a few more of these when you got there. right around the edges to make it fun. And then your crackers can go right in here alongside of your cheese ball. I'm going to get an A+ on this from my daughter. I know I am. She's going to love this. She does a great cheese ball. She wraps hers with the meat. It's good. But she's never gotten this fancy yet. But I saw this and I thought, oh my God, that is so cute. All right. So there is your cheese ball for your next Easter party, or any party for that matter. So if you want to make this at home, it's called a carrot cheese ball. It's 1 8-ounce brick of cream cheese, softened, 1 package of chipped beef, a splash of Worcestershire, and also a spice or a little dash or 2 or 3 or maybe 4 of the hot sauce. A 1/4 cup of diced onions or green onions like I used in this one. A 1/2 cup of finely grated cheese in the cheese ball, and then enough to actually coat the cheese ball to look like a carrot. And that's all you do. You can refrigerate it, put it in a nice little tin like this. Whoops, watch out. This one actually has a lid, so you can put your lid on, put it in the refrigerator, and carry it to your next party this Easter. Thank you so much. Bon appetit.